First story. 2 years after wife's affair, still struggling. I am pretty new to this forum, and Reddit for that matter. About 2 months ago I posted our story on the infidelity subreddit, which I ended up deleting as the comments were generally not helpful and some were even counterproductive. While I appreciated everyone's sincerity and support, I felt that most people could not identify with our experience. My wife of 18 years had an affair, albeit brief, with a colleague and friend of mine. We are over 2 years together since, and we have been getting weekly therapy both together and individually. This has been very helpful for me especially, but for her as well. I only regret that we had not sought such support much earlier. We have 2 children, but it is our youngest who has a rare disease with severe disabilities and profound special needs. I realized that the affair was really about escaping from our reality and her pain as a mother of a child with severe disabilities. Nonetheless, it hurts me so deeply. Ironically, we were always very active and had a lot of fun together in the bedroom. It was one place where we could connect. That never changed, and in fact has only increased. Over the past 2 years, I could count on my 2 hands days that we have not made love. In fact, we started a streak of 18 months where we made love at least once a day. This has been very helpful for me, although it was very confusing at first. Anyhow, as I read both in the literature and on this forum, it is not an uncommon phenomenon. Well, I still struggle though. I often think about leaving her. I stay because I love her, enjoy being with her, and for our children. But sometimes I hate myself for staying. Like everyone here, our story is far too long. There are many details and nuances. Don't forget I have to work with this asshole and see him all the time. That certainly is not easy. Second story. My 26M caught my girl 26F texting another man 40M. Is this considered cheating? If my girl texted another guy but told him she isn't interested? So me and my girl had a fight and she left the house. We usually have fights but never break up. This time we said we will break up, but still it wasn't official, it was just said out of anger. 2 days later I'm blocked from all socials. So I created a dummy account and see her story posts that she is at a pool club and she followed a new guy, and his story also shows he is at the same pool club. So I go there to speak to her. I find her laying in her sunbed alone reading a book, and the other guy is with his friends in a big sunbed next to her. While I'm talking to her I noticed he kept looking and all, and asked her who he is, and all she said was that she asked him for a lighter and that's it. I ended up going to talk to him. Keep in mind I already know they are following each other. She doesn't know that. He also tells me no, she just asked him for a lighter. She couldn't hear what we were talking about. As soon as I come back to her, she tells me I forgot to tell you I followed him on Insta for work purposes cause she is in media marketing, and he is somewhat a blogger and famous. More the less she sees I am annoyed and we talk. The guy leave and I leave after 5 minutes. Later in the day, around 3 hours after the pool club, I find her in a hookah lounge while using the dummy account to see her Insta stories. I ask her, did the guy message you? And she was like, yes. I asked to see the chat. She kept telling me I told me I'm not interested, and IDK what? I see the chat. First thing he messages is 1. Hello, sorry if I caused any trouble. She replies, no worries, are all you men crazy? 2. He replies, if you get to know me you will know I am not. This will be if you will take the risk. She replies, no, I focus on my work now, and she apologizes for what happened, which was me confronting him in the pool club, and she says now I can't post on my Instagram on real time with laughing emoji. 3. He replies with it's okay, I understand, and haha. 4. He asks her, are you still there, as she hasn't replied back, and writes back no. 5. He then texts her and asks, are you safely home? Which she then replies to yes and likes his response, which was safely home, by giving a like to it. 6. He says perfect, and she replies, yes, I travel to my family soon in 2 weeks, so thank God. 7. He then says, it means I need to see you out more before you leave. And she replies with HHH. Don't get me wrong, but I'm freshly split, give me some time to breathe. 8. He replies, we can do this breathing together, which she then replies with a laughing emoji. She later replies, my new relationship is my laptop now, and says life is short, she needs to focus on her company. He sends a couple of useless messages trying to joke, which she doesn't reply back to and only blocks him after I asked. He responded to me was that it wasn't cheating cause we were technically broken up, and she even declined to go out with him. Third story. Any tips? We are in our 40s. Agreed to separate. Most likely heading to divorce, but open-minded. Simply put, we grew apart and are not living as married couple. More like roommates, business partners. We have been talking about this for 1.5 years. At this point we agree that we are not compatible and are done. I am not mad at her personally. I am disappointed in us for not making this work. I am moving out in a few weeks. I like the new place I am renting. Did a comprehensive separation agreement. Share a toddler. Parenting time is about 50-50. We each have financial resources to be okay individually. Agreeing to do this as friends with a focus on compromise. Agree that toddler's well-being is the priority. I almost feel that this is setting up too good easy. I also know that divorce and disrupting a child's life is inherently traumatic. What are the big pitfalls? Will I find I miss her? Will toddler suffer more than I expect? Will I be lonely? Update. Why does everyone call their ex a narcissist? I feel like almost every time a marriage fails there is a split in the blame, be it 50-50, 30-70 or 10-90. I doubt it is ever 100% one person's fault. When I see someone call their STBX a narcissist, I see someone trying to not take responsibility and just label their STBX with some mental health condition. In my view, an important step towards healing is not to be the victim, but take responsibility for your part on the failure of your marriage. Own it and grow from it. If you just blame someone else, you will likely repeat your mistakes. My 2 cents. I should have titled this, Why Do So Many People Call Their Ex a Narcissist? Update. Is my wife cheating? My wife and I have had a series of events come up that make me concerned. She adamantly denies any inappropriate behavior, but I just don't know. I want to believe the best, but I am struggling. What do you think? Here are the facts. About 5 years ago we took a vacation. While there I noticed her texting an excessive amount. I confronted her and she said she was speaking with John a lot. They have a business relationship. I asked to see the texts but she had deleted them all. I pushed her on this and she eventually apologized and expressed remorse. She admits he's attractive. She said she didn't physically cheat and I believe her. She agreed to speak to him less and not erase texts anymore. We later talk about this again, and she says she wanted to avoid the situation and make us better, so may have over-admitted guilt. They are just friends. I see your point, and on this. Few years later I am looking at our phone bill and see she is making a large number of long calls to someone. I look it up and find it is the same person, John. She has business reasons to communicate with this person, but the volume seems to far exceed that. I asked about it and her first reaction is defensiveness. Why are you looking at my phone bill? I choose to let this pass as well. More time passes. Our marriage is faltering for a variety of reasons. I start seeing her texting a lot and doing this thing where when her phone goes off, she will quickly get it and hide it. We were in a hotel for a week, and it was painfully obvious of how protective of her phone she was. More time passes. We agree to separate for a bunch of unrelated reasons, but live together for a bit before I move out. A few days before I move out, as she gets dressed up and go out, I don't ask any questions. We are separating and she is free to live her life how she pleases now. After I move out, we decide to try to reconcile. I learn the person she went out with was John. To her credit, she tells me right away when I asked her, but she only says dinner. I asked twice to confirm her response. She was out for more hours than just dinner, so wanted to lock that in. That night I can't sleep. We are fighting to reconcile, but why is John still in the mix? Why would she choose to go to dinner with him of all people as we are separating? I text her and tell her I need help finding peace with this. I ask for her texts right before and after the dinner and her bank statement from that night. Bank statement shows they also went to a bar and she paid $50. So he bought dinner, then they went to bar. Thinking 2 for drinks each? My wife is loopy at 2 drinks. She says she deleted texts from that time. This might be okay though because when we separated I deleted a bunch of stuff too. Cleaned my phone. Fresh start. I asked her why she told me about dinner but not drinks. She said based on the history with him and us, San Diego, she froze. Kind of a jerk move, but I insist she get the texts from that period from him. They still talk. He also said he erased his. Says he erases all texts every few weeks. I ask for her recent texts with him. They are not sexual but there are a lot of them. Constant talking. Here we are. Is she not being fully honest or has this just been a bad series of events? Can I reconcile or can I no longer trust her? Fourth story. Found out girlfriend, 26F, was sleeping around during early dating stage and lied to me, 25M. What should I do? Hello. Just as a preface, I'm looking for genuine advice about how to handle this situation. I'm very open-minded. What would you do in my position? So, I've been dating my girlfriend for a year and a half, and everything has been going fantastic. First, a story of how we met. Initially, we had been set up by 2 friends and had gone on 4 dates with each other. Nothing physical happened. I said I really liked her, but she hadn't felt that spark yet, and just liked hanging out with me for now since she was interested in me. Afterwards, she had gone on a trip for 2 months to Africa that had already been planned. And I've just found out that she actually slept with 2 guys during that trip. Keep in mind, we were texting and called a few times when she was away, and had made plans for when she came back. When she came back, we started seeing each other for another 2 months and then started dating afterwards. Before we started dating, I asked if anything happened on her trip, and she said no. It's not like this would have been a deal breaker. To be honest, I'm not sure, but I would have been definitely icky about it. She's told me she didn't say the truth, because she knew I wasn't a fan of casual sex, and she was embarrassed. I've just found out about what actually happened, and I'm extremely hurt, and don't know what to do with myself. I can't seem to get over this, and don't really want to throw this away. She's been awesome trying to comfort me, and has been apologizing profusely about the entire situation. I just can't help that I was lied to, and has brought up a lot of insecurities within myself. Was I just her second choice? I just can't get over the fact that she was sleeping with other guys, who she had no interest in, while she was interested in getting to know me more, and wanted a relationship. She's never made me question her faithfulness at all, and we've been pretty solid. I just don't know how to get over these feelings, and I want to feel secure in my relationship again. I know we definitely care a lot about each other. Girlfriend was sleeping around during early dating, when she went on pre-planned solo trip for a holiday. She lied about it before we started dating, and I just found out, and am very hurt. How to progress. Fifth story. My wife, 24F, just cheated on me after having everything for me, 26M, and without being in a bad moment in our relationship. Why? We have been together for about 4 years, and have been married for 11 months. Yesterday I found out that my wife was not at home and had sex with her internship supervisor. And I see the person I see more flaws than good things for her to have felt attraction to. I took things calmly and immediately asked for a space for both of us, because nobody really expected that. I at best thought it would have been a few messages or a date and that's it. I thought that some therapy or something in itself could help us in that case, but already in what she did I feel so betrayed that I feel that it cannot be fixed. Since we have been together we have made plans together for the future. We have shared all her college life together. I have supported her in her studies, and during the courtship and marriage, I helped her financially with her studies, with the things she needed and were in my reach. We lived new experiences, we traveled, and in her family we shared being like one more. When we lived together we had problems to understand each other, but then we got better and our routine felt wonderful. Every day was fun and we were happy, or at least that's how I saw it. I don't understand why she did it. And even after she did it, she cried and knelt down that she was sorry, but still she had done what she had done. And I told her that we couldn't be together for these days. Well, I was thinking, but the only thing I can think of is divorce. It should be noted that I was the first person to meet her family, the first person she took with her, the first person she traveled with together, and the first person to marry her. I was the first time of everything, including having sex with her. My close friends reacted with surprise to that, and I think her family and mine would react that way too, because it doesn't make any sense what she did. Everyone saw that she was happy, she admired me and showed it with the whole family and always said something good about me, and everyone noticed the effort of everything she did for me. I think this is the biggest unfairness I feel right now, because I also gave my all and because I was trying to improve in every step and in every stumbling block I had. Update: I just found out that she has been having sex with this guy since the last month, and now I'm worried that I may have a STD. She had unprotected sex with that guy. I will do some exams and test. Now I feel worse. Sixth story. Do you ever forget something happened? So I'll try to keep this as condensed as possible, but it is a rather long story. So basically, my wife and I have been together since high school. I love her to bits and we have no issues. However, a long time ago, 15 plus years, at Shoeley's, for the non-Aussies out there, think of it as something like spring break but for school leavers. It's basically a week-long party at the Gold Coast in Australia for 17-year-olds. My wife, girlfriend at the time, cheated on me. She initially didn't tell me. However, the friends she was staying with basically gave her a week afterwards to build up the courage to tell me, and she never did. So they did. Well, they basically told me that something happened and I need to talk to her about it. They wouldn't give me any real details, apart from, sorry to be crude, but at the end of the conversation with them, one of them goes, "If it makes you feel any better," she said, "your dick's bigger." I feel this is kind of important to the story. So I confronted her about a week after it happened, and the initial conversation basically was filled with a lot of "I don't know, I don't remember, I was drunk," etc., and I didn't get much out of her. So I told her I need some time. I had then sent her an email with a heap of questions and asking her to tell the truth. No more of this "I don't remember" BS. The story I got was that yes, she hooked up with this guy multiple times, held hands with him walking around, and he slept in her bed one night. He conveniently got locked out of his room apparently. However, she's always denied that they had sex, or even that she gave him a BJ or a HJ. Her story is basically, yeah, we made out for a while. And when I pressed on the whole, well, why would you have commented on his dick size to your friends if you didn't do anything, she's basically just said, "Oh yeah, he was hard," and I sort of had my hand down there for a bit, but didn't really do anything. I guess it's always kind of bugged me a bit, and recently I decided to ask her again. Is there anything else she would like to tell me about what happened? And I basically just get something along the lines of "I don't remember. It was so long ago, and it's the worst things I've ever done. I just tried to forget it. But we definitely did not have sex. And maybe that's fair enough after 15 years. I don't know. I guess my question is, do you ever really forget what you did with someone? I know personally I could give the names and exactly how far I went with everyone I've ever been with, done anything sexual with. I might have to think for a minute or two, but I haven't forgotten. None of this is an issue, so to speak, and I've told her this. She could tell me she had a gangbang down there and I'd be okay with it. It's in the past. I trust her and I'm 100% confident it's never happened again. Just drunk horny teenagers together with no supervision and stuff happens. It's more just my curiosity at this point, and I really don't want to not believe her, but in my experience, you don't forget this sort of this, do you? Seventh story. My wife is one of those open relation people, SMH. 6 years ago, I 25M at the time met my now ex 42F at a real estate event. She was a broker and I was an aspiring entrepreneur looking to sell houses. Nothing abnormal whatsoever. We were learning about wholesaling together at this event where, funny enough, she was the only woman in attendance on day one. Not sure why, but my mind was confused and curious. Who is this woman? The event was no longer important to me as I fixated on this woman. She was a gorgeous dirty blonde German, who had the most beautiful smile and laugh that I just adored. We got closer 2 months in. We had our own meetups, and after a massage of her back, she gave me head for the first time. She was on her period at the time. I was unaware that she had cut me but was still performing the act. Me being the idiot in the moment did not want to ruin it, even though I could tell something didn't feel right. SMH. I saw the cut in the bathroom after and thought, WTF, but I didn't want to make a big deal of it. 2 weeks later, we are drunk together and she blurts out, "Please don't ask me to sleep with anyone else." The idiot that I was at the time said, "No fucking way. I don't share. What's mine is mine." And proceed to kiss her and comfort her, idiot. Without asking WTF. Literally the next day, her ex, who is her age, starts blowing up her phone, and would not leave us alone for the next year and a half, demeaning me and saying I'm not shit, blah blah. Turns out her ex of 25 years took pleasure in watching her sleep with other men. I find this behavior degenerate and morally wrong, but lied to me about it all, saying it was only 5 times. Shortly after the year and a half goes by, I leave. Why didn't you leave sooner? You ask. Because I'm an idiot. Or was drunk in love. She calls me while I'm in Cali and tells me that she's pregnant. I thought, couldn't be mine, for obvious reasons, but wanted it to be mine truthfully. I come back and try again, but this time, I needed to be sure. I discreetly have a DNA test for my daughter and 9,999.99999% mine. I'm blessed. Looks like me. All me. But I don't trust her. At all. We eventually get an apartment home together, and I cannot stop thinking of this new information about her. We fight and argue for the next 2 years and I leave her again. I take my daughter and go after being told by the neighbor that she brought a weird man into our home while I was at work, and my daughter was left outside in the stroller crying for what felt like 20 minutes to him. All footage on neighbor's Ring camera. Now she hasn't seen her daughter for 7+ months and does not care. I don't care for my child, she's better off. My heart is definitely on a different level of pain, I'll say. Moral of the story. I cannot regret anything of what happened because I have an amazing daughter. However, for those of you in a relationship with no child, listen to the red flags, get a background check on them. If you start losing yourself over someone, but are on the fence, you will be surprised what you find. Thank you for your time. I feel a weight lifted. Thank you.